Right now in my wholesaling real estate business, I'm making so much money virtually wholesaling from behind a computer screen. And I'll be completely honest with you. It feels like cheating. It doesn't feel legal. It doesn't feel right. Heck, it doesn't even feel like I should be allowed to make this much money wholesaling real estate, but yet I do. And in today's video, what I want to do is share with you exactly how I'm making so much dang money virtually wholesaling. It feels like cheating. It feels like I shouldn't even be able to do it. And I'll be honest with you, I'll teach you everything I know about how to make a stupid amount of money, how to get rich, how to become successful virtually wholesaling real estate. Now, one thing you have to understand here in virtual wholesaling is I became this successful because I was able to learn three simple concepts and go through three avatars of wholesaling real estate. And what I want you to do today is go through these same three and how you can have the same exact success, like step by step, the same exact success. Now, the thing about it is, I say it feels like cheating. I feel like it's illegal because not many people understand how to make a lot of money. And once you do, it feels like it's this big secret, but it's not a secret at the same time. And no, I'm not giving you some shmuru, lulu, whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's the secret's within you the entire time, and you just got to believe. And guys, it's stupid. Also, I'm also going to tell you the truth. Like, it's not about working hard. Oh, working hard to make millions of dollars. That's not the reason why I got rich wholesaling real. It wasn't because I decided to go crazy and work hard. The reason why I became so successful virtually wholesaling because of some very important concepts that I did. And it feels like cheating because I go out here, work 10, 15 hours a week in my business and make a ton of money. The coolest part about it is I can go on vacation or I can do whatever I want for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And the amount of money I make in my virtual wholesaling operations stay the same. I'm not the one closing the deals. I'm frankly not the one pulling the list for the deals. I'm not the one selling my deals. Like I'm calling the shots from the top, and you'll find that most businesses run like this. So I'm going to show you exactly today, everything you need to know on how to do this. Now, the first thing we have to understand is money comes from the value you create. Now, multiply that by the people you help, and that's generally how much money you make. Now, if I help 1,000 sellers out because of their situations, I get paid a lot more than the guy that helped 10 sellers out. Now, maybe you help 1 billion out and you can have this company that makes tens of millions of dollars. It's about the value you create for other people. So the reason why I spend thousands of dollars on a phone is because the iPhone is just superior to any other phone, in my opinion. And so that creates a lot more value than getting a bad Android. And so the money and the value I get from that, and because Apple's able to help tens and tens of hundreds of millions of people every single year by giving that right, he's having success. So I think that's one secret I think a lot of wholesalers really don't understand is that is how entrepreneurs and people make money. Now, what is value? Again, for most people watching this, value is going to be the homeowners that are in their distress situations, homeowners that are having issues, homeowners that can't pay their bills and they need to get rid of the property or cash, right? It's like the pawn shop of wholesaling or like the used car stuff, right? Where you just want to get rid of it. You don't want to go through the process. You want to do, and like that's the value we give. Now, the real secret, and I'll just say it straight from the start, is scaling. Like being able to provide value to homeowners at scale. That is the thing. Now, I don't really know any solo wholesaler making 10 million a year. I don't know one. That like it's just them. They got a partner, they got two, they got some people on their team, right? There comes to a point where you can't be doing it all yourself. And you have to give some delegation up to the task of making a ton of money. And even going further, like I don't know really anyone at that 10 mil mark, maybe I haven't met him yet, him or her, that they're doing the marketing by themselves. They are closing the sellers themselves. They're doing the display. No. Now I'll close deals in my company for training, the train and acquisitions person. That's it. Guys, I'm able to do this at scale, and that is the biggest secret of it all. And so this is not a scaling video, okay? This is not it. But a lot of people look at scaling as like, oh, some fancy thing. It's more delegation. And everyone who reaches a certain point in business, I find a lot of people stuck at that 3 and 400K mark get stuck at this point. Now, in many businesses, it's 1 million a year, 2 million a year, 3 million a year. But for wholesaling real estate, it's roughly $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year is when you get stuck at that, like, I don't want to hire anybody type thing. And it's the question of the man or woman that wants to create 10 iPhones and sell just 10 iPhones versus the person that can sell 10 million. Now, Steve Jobs, he's not the most tech savvy guy. He's a great marketer, but like he could probably make 10 iPhones a year if he wanted to do it all himself, maybe, right? Rest in peace. But instead, Apple sells 10, 20, 40 million, probably billions of units of iPhones already, right? But how are they able to do it if one man should do it all themselves? No, like they got multiple people doing it, and they found a profit. And this is just business in general, right? You pay someone, and I don't want to get in the politics of this, right? You pay someone $3 an hour in China to go make an iPhone that costs maybe $200, and you sell it for $1,000. That's great profit margins, right? Duh. I mean, the software costs money and all this stuff. But like, the thing is, if you're able to sell for $1,000, it costs you $200. It was a good investment to pay that $200 to get it done. When you could do it technically for $100 if you did it all yourself, but you can only make 10. Same thing happens in wholesaling real estate when you want to get like insanely rich. Like when we're talking about like stupid rich, like I'm making more money than it's even possible. It's about having a team member. It's about having people in there, right? And the one concept that I've always found from the richest people in wholesaling, or I'll be honest with you, the richest people I see in life, right, is again a Pablo Picasso quote that I live by. But it's good artist copy, great artist steal. And not about outright stealing something, but when Pablo Picasso talks about stealing something, he talks about taking it and taking the entire concept of it and then rewriting it as your own, and not like plagiarizing it, but like taking that concept that everyone has basically done, and then make it your own and make it your own unique type of artwork. That is something Pablo Picasso has always been doing. He's never just draw little inspirations. He stole it and then made his own thing, right? Virgil was a very integral part of that, like Off-White. He was very big into that concept. And what I found is the greatest men, mostly men, and I'm not here to be sexist, but the best entrepreneurs that I look up to have always followed this concept. And this is a concept I've always used towards wholesaling. Where I see somebody who's really good at something, I will take that and then use it to my advantage and use it in a way that works really well for me. It's why I invented basically kind of in wholesaling the good cop, bad cop approach from police officers and detectives. And I kind of use that into wholesaling, right? Wholesalers have stolen skip tracing from detectives and law enforcement into their own business. We've used data mining and we stole that and put it into we've used a lot of different other things. A lot of the sales virtually has come from virtual wholesaling and things like this. And so, the richest wholesalers I've ever seen, they don't copy, they steal. And then they make it their own and they make it unique and they use it for something that actually dang works. So what you need to do, I'm giving you full permission today. Find the top wholesalers. I don't care where. Top virtual wholesalers. Find them. Okay, this guy is crushing it out here in Greenville, South Carolina. What you're going to do is you're going to figure out what list they're pulling. You're going to figure out what type of sellers they're talking to. You're going to find their cash buyers. I know a lot of people love bragging about the addresses that they wholesale. Free cash buyer right there. Guys, if somebody on the internet brags that they wholesale this house for this much and they give you an address, go to that address, go to public records, see who owned it or bought it. Boom, that's a free cash buyer. It's the best. Guys, I have no shame in this. I have wholesaled a ton of cash buyer deals, some of my most amazing virtual ones, over 34K margins from just stealing other people's, I call it bragger buyers, right? Like people bragging, they steal that buyer. It's amazing. Now, everyone can say, oh, that's not correct, or that's not politically correct, or right? Guys, I could care less. If you're bragging about it, you deserve to have your buyer stolen. I'm being honest with you. You're a best buyer, and the best buyers only buy 5, 6, 7, 8 properties a year. The best buyers that pay the most, that are easiest to work with. And if 1,000 people reach out to that person, that buyer is done. You'll never, ever get that buyer ever again because they have so many wholesalers that supply and demand. And that's the truth about wholesaling real estate, right? They just take some of the best methods. Guys, if you've had success, like the ones watching this that have made at least, 3, 4, 500 grand for their first year wholesaling, made $500,000 from my information. You didn't copy it, you stole it. You stole my entire systems. And I'm not charging you. I don't sell information. I have no paid programs. I got my free community. That's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah, you can pay for X leads, I guess, but like you have to use like software no matter what for your skip tracing. If you're non-disclosure state, like you have to use it. So you're going to get a software no matter what. That's why I have X leads. But everything else is free. I have nothing to sell you here, and I have no information you can buy it. So steal it. I ain't going to make any money off of you, right? It's just telling you the truth. It's crazy that anyone sells you information anymore. But let me tell you this. Find the top ones and just steal their entire thing. Here's the funny part. Nobody owns wholesaling. Nobody owns any concepts in wholesaling real estate. I want to be honest with you. Nobody invented virtual wholesaling real estate. Nobody invented methods for finding sellers. Nobody invented marketing. Nobody invented closing a seller. Nobody invented finding cash buyers. Nobody invented a patented cash buyer disposition system. You guys seen the Fliplerk Studio? We have books from the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s about how to wholesale real estate, subject twos, lease options, how to convince a seller to sign a contract for a discount. We have selling books about 5-step closing formulas and methods and how to find cash buyers. I have all these classic old head real estate books and sales books and psychology books that share all, like everyone has stolen it from another person. You think Pablo Picasso invented his crazy artist style? No, there's way other people. You could say Salvador Dali kind of took it from it, right? We can get in this whole debate all day. Unless you invented art, it ain't a thing. I'm not trying to break copyright law, but like there's nothing in wholesaling real estate that is owned. It is not. Nobody creates a process or a system. Most people don't know the difference between a process and a system. The thing about this in wholesaling real estate is the information is public to the people. This has always been my thing. So do not feel bad about taking, if somebody is getting 15 grand a month wholesaling the code violations in Lynchburg, Virginia, steal it. Get the code violations, pull that list, call it with the same dang script. No one's going to sue you for somebody using somebody's script, and go after it. Now, I only get upset when people take my information that I give out for free. They charge you 15, 20 grand for that information I give out for free. I get a little mad. I probably shouldn't, because whatever. But maybe that's a mental problem I got to fix. But like that's the only time I get mad about this stuff. It's just steal it. Outright steal it. No one can sue. You do not own any educational content in wholesaling. Nobody owns it. You know why? I say this one quote, and it's the most true quote I've ever found. You cannot own the truth. What is the best way to close a seller? What is the best way? That, whatever that is the truth. I don't own the truth. The truth is the truth. The sky is blue. I don't own the fact that the sky is blue. That is just the truth. And so take it. But I want everyone to understand that you should not go word for word. You have to reinvent it as your own and reinvent it on your own. What I mean by this, the greatest men that I've looked up to in society when it comes to being entrepreneurs have always stole other ideas and made it their own. Let me explain. Elon Musk, he didn't invent electric cars. He stole everyone's ideas and work on electric cars, then made it his own. He didn't even invent Tesla. You know, he had to pay somebody for the name of Tesla. You know, he didn't even found the company Tesla. You think Elon Musk invented rocket ships? You think he invented online business? PayPal. You know, do you think he invented Twitter or social media? No. He took it, perfected it, in my opinion. Warren Buffett, you think he was the first guy to ever trade a stock? Trade stocks back in the Dutch countryside, right? In the Netherlands, it was Holland back then, right? They did the first stock markets, those 1600s. Warren Buffett he perfected trading stocks, in my opinion. Jeff Bezos was not the first man to sell a book online, but he perfected it. He perfected e-commerce. Bill Gates, you know Microsoft software as we know it today. You know he didn't actually create it. He bought it from another company in, I believe, in Seattle. He bought for $50,000. He bought a company's software and used it as his own and called it Microsoft. He took someone's code, bought it from the guy's software, then made it his own for a graphical user interface. He didn't found it. Crazy. He just perfected software from there. Steve Jobs, he didn't invent the computer. He did not invent the personal computer. He did not invent smartphones, but he perfected smartphones. The greatest men that I ever look up to that have made the greatest change in the world, they just outright stole ideas and then perfected them. So I don't own any of the stuff I teach about in wholesaling real estate. It's stuff I know and see around the world, and then I just perfect it. So when you're looking to do this, right, and you want to get like filthy rich, virtually wholesaling real estate, right? You want to get filthy rich, virtually wholesaling real estate, right? There we go. You want to get filthy rich, virtually wholesaling real estate, right? There's 3 phases to getting filthy rich, virtually wholesaling real estate. Now, the first phase, I think everybody kind of knows, right? I think everyone knows starting, right? Okay, let's talk. All right, you're broke. You got no money, right? At this point, you want to get rich. We got to talk about the first part, right? The first part is you're broke. You got no money. What do I do, right? I'll be completely honest with you. I'll be 100% with you. When you're broke, you have to use free methods because you have no money. I can give you the truth of what to do when you got no money. It's not good. Hey, I'm broke. I got no money. What do I do? There's free methods, right? Government lists, calling, texting, door knocking, maybe reverse transfer for dollars if we can, right? A lot of budgets are very, very, very difficult to do when you have no money. We teach it at Wholesaling.com, my free community, my free course, right? The thing is, it's my community. We'll just call it my community. My community. It's my community. It's true though. It's free though, Wholesaling.com. But when you're broke, you got no money. You have to use the free methods. That's the truth. Now, once you start getting a deal or two, we can start using tools. The best tool starting out, I would say, is a dialer, a texting system. You can start buying numbers, maybe some gas for driving for dollars, reverse driving for dollars. But like that's really it. I wish I could give you another tool or secret, but like, you know, $200-$300 a month, right? I don't get crazy. And then from there, we could start doing what I call leveraged wholesaling. Maybe start getting a team. You can call it scaling if you want. I think that's kind of overdone sometimes, but like that's honestly what you have to do. Like those are the 3 phrases, right? So that's how you do it, right? I'm telling you right now, okay? Like those are the 3. If you don't do it, like that's not how you do it. And the real reason that, you know, topic of today's video is like getting rich from it, right? I'm rich from leverage. Like that's how I really have gotten rich. That's really how I've gotten successful. It's straight up from leverage. Like, guys, do you know a lever? Like with a lever, you know, what do British people, they call it a lever. That's stupid. But with like something, right? With a lever or something, I can lift something that's 1,000 pounds by just boop, 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 or like, right? That's a lever. That's what leverage is all about. Now, I can't lift something that's 1,000 pounds, but I can use a lever that creates it. It's only feel like I'm lifting 100 pounds, but it's really 1,000 pounds. And the same thing happens in wholesaling, where I'm able to pull the lever and I'm able to do 100 hours of work in only 5 hours. That's wholesaling with cheat codes. That is when it feels illegal. That's when it feels like cheating. Like I shouldn't be. I pinch myself sometimes. Like guys, I'm 25 years old. I make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every single year, and I'm 25. Like this is crazy. And I tell myself like this feels like cheating. This is insane. And it's only because I learned how to do leverage. Now, what I define leverage is working the same hours and increasing your income. That's basically it. Most people think, oh, I'm making 100 grand at 40 hours a week. Well, I got to work 60 hours a week and make 100. What is that? That's not half, right? No, half would be 20. Yeah, that'd be maybe 150 grand. And it's like, well, you can work the same 40 and make 500,000. Like, how do you do that? Leverage, right? So there's a point in wholesaling, right, where you don't want to be in the business operations anymore. And not like completely out of it, right? I'm not completely out of my operations, but it's at a point where I'm not doing all the work and I just I manage people, not the customers or like the sellers, right? So you don't want, more specifically, right, you don't want yourself in the operations to be the determinant of your income. Now, I feel like a pretentious guy saying this, and this is kind of pretentious, but like on Wednesday, I will probably be 60 miles offshore catching tuna and sailfish and sharks and mahi and all that fun stuff because I'll be on a boat probably all stinking day. And my income will stay the exact same. And the cool part is it's because I have people going on appointments while I'm on the boat. Like people like doing all these things. And the thing is, a lot of people are at that point where like they can't go on a boat because first they can't afford the boat. And secondly, they have to go on the appointments. Well, when you're that person that doesn't have to do that anymore, you start getting insanely successful. And heck, this is power to a point too. When you can command 100,000 men to go storm the beaches of Normandy, you have power, you have leverage, because you don't have to be that one guy trying to fight 50,000 of the enemy. You have 100,000 men who will wield a sword for you. And this is about how conquering is done. And I wish I could give you like a less like dire example, but like, how do you have this great success at such a young age sometimes, right? And I look at one of my, I love history. One of my biggest inspirations starting out, I know this is stupid, is always Alexander the Great, right? Because his father, Philip II, kind of really put Macedonia together as like a city-state into like a massive empire. And then when he died, he basically gave it to his son, Alexander. And Alexander, at 20 years old, went to conquer pretty much the known world. And it's like, well, how can a guy at 20 years old conquer it? Maybe he's not the smartest. Maybe he's not the best. Well, a couple things on there, right? Alexander the Great founded basically long spears, and he gave that to his troops. And he was able to just destroy everyone. And he had very good intellect. And that inspired me at a very young age to become a millionaire, because like if you could do it at 20, like heck, I could do it at 20, right? The other thing about that is like, was Alexander the Great able to conquer Persia, right? Destroy Darius, the Persian emperor at the time. Was he able to do all? FYI, if you guys want a cool story, look up Alexander and Darius. Fun fact about Alexander: his greatest enemy of all time, his greatest foe, was Darius of Persia. And he made it a sworn mission, because no Greek was able to really conquer Persia, right? We had Leonidas in the 300, never able to defeat Persia. He defeated Persia. And the thing was, he beat Persia so bad that Darius fled the capital of Babylon and was running around the desert while Alexander and his troops were running around trying to end Darius. And the funny part is, one of Darius's men killed Darius. And so what Alexander did was he started running after the guy that killed Darius and then killed him, because he was mad that he wasn't able to finally kill him. So he killed the guy that killed his enemy because he was so mad he couldn't get the final blow on him. And it was just so funny. But like, how is one young man able to go conquer and do all these things? I'll give you, there's all these things, but it's the number one thing is he didn't do it all himself. He had an army behind him. And sometimes to great things, you have to have an army of cold callers, an army of texters. If you're Steve Jobs, an army of people to create iPhones for you, right? An army of coders for Amazon, right? You need something when you want to start doing great things. Now, making $500,000, $100,000 by yourself, that's great, right? That's awesome. All right, that's great. But we're talking about like actually like making like life-changing money, like millions and millions, and hitting that 10 mil and like the massive thing. The thing that feels like cheating is the employees, is the people doing the leverage for you and with you, with still having your spin on it, right? You're still doing the high level decisions that are really pointing everyone the right way. You're still in generals. You're still in telling your army what to do. It's not just having the army that makes you successful. It's leading the army the right way. There's a difference between having an army and leading the army, right? Telling somebody to do and leading them to do it, right? So one example I always give of this, of why it feels like cheating for me, is like, well, if I cold call 8 hours a day, I could probably get 480 calls done for the day. Now, with my team, maybe if I had 7 VAs, right, that would be 3,360 calls a day. Was I just better than somebody else doing this? No. Why am I able to do so many more cold calls than just solo Zach? Because I had an army. If you have 7 people fighting one person, the 7 people are most likely going to win. I'm just telling you the truth here. So you can't even beat my team. And what you understand is you can't beat my team. If you called for 24 hours straight and got a great contact rate, you're still not beating my wholesaling operations virtually, because there's just too many. There is just I don't care how good you are. There's just too many. I don't care how good at cold calling you are. It don't matter. I don't care how good you are at closing sellers. If I have 3 acquisitions agents all going on appointments all day, every day, even if you have 100% closing rate, if I'm able to give my leads 9 and they close half, that's 4.5, right? If I give you 3 and you close all of them, you get 3, my 4.5 beats your 3. So there gets to a point where it doesn't matter about how good of a closer you are. or how good of a marketer you are, how many good you're finding buyers. If you just have the leverage, you have the success. So my acquisitions agents are able to be on 2 appointments at 1 o'clock today, all together, right? They're able to do that because leverage. There's 2 people going to 1 appointment, right? So Steve Jobs, love him, right? He's able to have people do the work. He manages the workers, okay? So there's really nobody in the wholesaling operations doing 10 million a year in wholesaling solo. At worst, there's 2 partners or 3 partners, right? But it's never a solo thing. And here's the thing, like we're talking about all this like scaling, making money, doing well, right? That stuff's all cool, but like none of it really matters until you quote make it in wholesaling. And my definition of making it in wholesaling real estate is like being so successful, right? That you go full-time in wholesaling, you start getting tools, you start having a dialer, you start getting stuff like X leads, right? Start getting these apps, you start getting like you don't need it starting out and you got no money, right? What I tell people is level up your video game character, right? Everybody loves the video game character. What we call it's called the hero arc, right? Pretty much every single hero is done like this, right? If you like Star Wars, right? Luke Skywalker is a beginning pupil and then he starts getting well and he defeats the villain, shocker. If you look at Spider-Man, he's just a lonely high school kid and then boom, he defeats the villain. We look at Batman, right? Oh, he's just a little kid and then he gets stronger and then he defeats the villain, right? It's all the same story. Like most superhero movies, I'll be like, I love superhero movies, by the way. Big Marvel fan, right? Love all these things. But like, I'll be honest with you. The arcs are always the same. There's the new kid, new person. They're young. They have no skills. Some sensei or whatever, right, comes in, teaches them. Sensei probably dies from the villain. Oh my gosh, no. And then we go in and we avenge and literally that's what it's called, the Avengers, right? Like that's what Marvel's about, right? The Avengers. And it's the same arc. And the reason why the movies are so cool is because there's a satisfaction at the end that they were nothing and they turned into something and they beat the villain. And the thing is, your whole life should be the same thing. Where you're starting out, which you're at right now, you're the young pupil. I guess I'm the sensei, I'm the teacher. Hopefully nothing bad happens to me. But basically, I'm the one teaching you. You get better, you get the skills, and you get the glory, right? You're the one who defeats the villain. Now, the villain is you being broke, right? That's the villain. And boom, you're successful. But you have to level up your video game character, right? You cannot beat the final boss unless you level up first. And right now, you're trying to beat the final boss without being leveled up. There's just some things you can't skip in this life. And you cannot skip being elite at talking to sellers, elite at acquisitions, elite at marketing, elite at dispo, just in the first try. It takes skills, it takes experience points, right? Everyone, if you play video games, have you ever thought of XP? Experience points. From experience. That's how this business is done. So you got to level up your video game character first. You got to remember, buyers get easier too when you have good deals. So once you start locking up deals, wholesaling gets easier because you'll start locking up deals. Buyers want to buy. You're not the boy that cried wolf. Do not try to find buyers and sell bad deals to your good buyers, and they're going to be the boy that cried wolf. They're never going to want to buy your deal versus just doing it all by yourself. So before we start leveling up, we got to get some money. We got to start getting rich. We got to start having success. And the best way for anybody watching this to start having success is you need a little cash. And the only way to get cash is to do an assignment. And so do the free ways we teach in freewholesaling.com. Do the free methods we teach pretty much on this channel, on the Discord, and all these great things. That's all we have today, right? That's how you get rich. Now, the one other thing I've done is on leverage is just talk to millions of people. So for example, this live stream will be an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of my time, right? But it's not just like one person watching for an hour and a half of me talk. I'm going to have thousands of people, hopefully tens of thousands, but probably thousands of views on just this one video, right? And overall, I look at the tens of millions of views that I've gotten on my YouTube channels, TikTok, all these things, right? And the thing about it is I'm able to spend an hour and a half and have tens of thousands of people watch my message. That's insane. That's tens of thousands of hours of people's time for me just spending an hour of my time. So that's leverage, right? It's social media videos. That's why it works so well. That's why I want you guys to know the secret here, why I don't give you personal one-on-one Zooms. And you guys, even if I charged you 20 grand for an hour a week of my time, it's not a good deal for me. That's why Grant Cardone, you can say whatever you want about the guy, you cannot give him $1,000 for an hour of his time every week. Guys, I'd pay that all day, every day, right? he won't do it. His time is not worth that. And my time, unfortunately, is too valuable where I'm not going to go call you for an hour and a half and just yip yap and, just tell you how to do. Like, I got to make a video and send it to the tens of thousands of people and the hundreds of thousands of followers we have and subscribers on YouTube. And the thing is, if you're able to go talk to the millions of followers I have and the thousands of community members I have, right? I think we're almost at 10,000 people in the community now, which is insane to me. We'll hit 100K in the community very soon. Like, just talk to those people about deals you have in JVs. Like, that's another leverage point too. Nobody talks about it. Hang out in the comments, do all these things. It's insanity when people don't, right? Now, you got to remember this too, right? You can't buy your way to leverage. It is earned. One of the worst things I see from beginner wholesalers, and I'm telling you, please, please, please do not do this. This is a terrible idea. Okay? I wake you up. Terrible idea. Do not do this. I legitimately see men, mostly men, because men are stupid. But I see guys go out here, right? They're like, I have a full-time job, so I'm gonna buy my way to success. And it's not even about paying 20 grand for a coaching program, because some people, I guess, make money and they're not terrible, but like, it's going out here and spending your $10,000. You only have 10 grand in your bank account. You spend 9 grand, all right, on Facebook ads. You don't even know how Facebook ads work. You don't know how PPC works, right? You don't know how any of this stuff works. You don't know how to even close a seller. But use all your money on Facebook ads. You have 50 good leads. You don't even know how to close a seller. And then you fumble all the leads and you just wasted 9 grand. Now, someone like me, I could probably close a good amount of those deals if I had the skills. Like, you just can't buy your way with experience. You can't go out here and pay 8 or 9 grand to go out here and get a deal. You need the experience with it. And the best way to have experience is doing it the freeway, kind of cutting your teeth in it, knowing what to say, when to say, and getting really good, and then gearing up and going better and better and better. There's just a lot that can go wrong. And the worst part about it, I'll be honest with you, if you have 10 grand and you spend it all on Facebook ads and you get a lot of leads and you kind of learn from it, as long as you're okay with losing the 10 grand, like whatever, like I'm not going to cry for you. But the thing that makes me cry, not cry, but want to cry, is a lot of you guys will spend the 10 grand and say, oh, wholesaling's a scam. I lost all my money. Then I'm out. See, it's the point of you spending all your money, it not working, then quitting because you're so soured from the whole experience that hurts me and gets me upset versus you spending the 10 grand not making it, right? It's the point that you did it, you failed, and then you quit after that. If you just did the free stuff, you probably would have not failed because the free stuff, you have to go through the free community, the free course, all these things, then you get good, right? So you can't buy your way to success. My favorite way is like the kids that like, I'm not even gonna say this, or okay. Do you guys know that kid in middle school or high school that like, he was like the rich kid? His parents always gave him like the private basketball lessons, the private football training. He had the best drip on the court. He had the $300 KD shoes, and he was always dripped out the gills. He had the private mentors and coaches, and he was absolute dookie at basketball because you just can't buy your way to being really good at basketball. Like, you could have the private coach and stuff, but like, unless you're like getting up in the morning and like living, eating, breathing the stuff, you can't do it, right? You can't buy your way into being a really good football player. You just can't buy speed. And so the funniest thing is, I love seeing these kids, right? They're in the private travel leagues, and they get they pay their way to be a starter. And then when it goes to like high school sports, it's like, we don't care how much money you spent to be good at basketball. It's like, either you're good or not. And you can't pay your way to dunking. You have to like earn it. And the same thing happens in wholesaling. You just can't buy your way to becoming a success. Now, you can, guys, buy mentorship and learn from there. Like, you can do that, but that still takes time and experience. Even with that, because the mentors are going to tell you to spend 9-8 grand a month in marketing, which again, I'm not even getting into that right now. But like, that's the funny part. You just can't buy your way to success. You can't buy your way to becoming a success in this business. You have to earn it. That's how this business works. And so the best analogy, really the best example I can give to anyone watching this, is the push mower versus the gas mower. So look at wholesaling still as like a landscaping business. You have no money, but your dad has an old push mower. And so what you do is, have you ever used a push mower? It is not fun. It's a lot of cardio. It's a lot of work. It sucks, but you get it cut and it looks good. And you're dying doing it. You do like 30, 40 of those lawns, and now you have some money. Now you go buy a gas mower. Guess what? I can do 5 times more. I don't have to do 30 in a month. I can do 150 in a month with a gas mower. I end up making more money with the tools and the leverage. Now, did I tell you to buy the Mac Daddy John Deere sit-down $16,000 sit-down mower? No, just a nice $500, $600, $700 gas mower. That is enough leverage for you to go to the next part. Do not go from push mower to the Mac Daddy because you'll find 16 grand, I can't make the money back. And so the thing is, yeah, the gas mower is really nice, but it's not like too much where the ROI is not there and you don't lose all your money. But the point is make so much money doing the gas mower, then you can get the crazy, fancy, like crazy John Deere sit down, right? So you start with the push mower, then get the gas mower, then you get the massive sit down mower, and then no one tells about what do you do from there. Then you buy 5 more sit down mowers and 5 more employees, and then they do 5 more neighborhoods. And that's how the big, fat, insanely successful landscaping businesses are. I don't know if you've ever met somebody who's really, really rich from really like weird like industries. For example, I know a guy, he makes over, I think, $3 million a year off of a basically garbage truck business. And he has multiple guys that do the garbage trucks. And the guy has like 100 garbage trucks. And he has 100 like people, 100 garbage trucks going out there, right? It's like a waste management type thing. And it's like, yeah, the guy's like, oh, he's a garbage man. No, he's not a garbage, he's an entrepreneur. He's just managing people at a point and he's making money in between. And the funniest part is, I guess people, you run a plumbing business, son. Oh, you run a pool cleaning. No, homeboy's got 500 people in his pool cleaning business, right? It's so funny. But that's how you get really rich. And so get the sit down mower. Like you can't get it first, right? You have to just go and kind of knock your teeth in it and do it, and then you become successful. That's the secret to success. So guys, if you want to join my free wholesaling community, all you have to do is go to freewholesaling.com. It's where I teach you how to wholesale real estate step by step, absolutely for free. There we go. Just make sure we're all good there. If you want to learn how to do it, just go to freewholesaling.com. That's how I'll teach you how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. There we go. But like always, I'm going to go answer some questions here.